Welcome to the Seven Figure Builder Show. My name is Julie Baranek, founder of Seven Figure Builder, where we help high achieving business owners save time in their schedule every week by implementing marketing automation to scale their business to seven figures and beyond. And today I'm here with my friend Jen Gutfried. How are you, Jen?
I'm doing wonderful, thanks.
Awesome. I'm thrilled to have you. So, for
I
those that haven't had, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say I'm so happy to be here with you today.
Awesome. So, for those that haven't had the pleasure of meeting you yet, can you tell me a little bit about what you do with your business?
Yeah, so I'm what you call a mindset and business strategist, as well as I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist. And I work with women who are maybe starting a business to ones that have been maybe doing it for a while, but they're not achieving the success they desire. So it's those women that want to make those 10K plus months, but they're just not getting there. And I help using a combination of mindset and business strategies. I help them achieve those 10K plus months, but without working long hours, without the hustle, without the burnout, because I've been there, done that, and don't believe in it at all. So it's all about hitting 10K plus months, but while working 20 hours a week or less, so that we actually have the time and financial freedom both, because there's no point in making all that money if we don't actually get to enjoy it.
For sure, yeah. I'm right there with you. I believe in working smarter, not harder, although I work pretty darn hard too. But the smarter we can work, the better off we are.
Exactly.
So do you find that women achieve more success? Is it more through like the time management piece of it, or is it the mindset piece, or in combination?
I always like to say that the mindset piece is the foundation to your home. So, like, your home is the business, but your mindset is the foundation. So, we can have all the strategy in the world, but if our mindset's not right, we don't allow that strategy to work. And I know this from personal experience. I actually had a business over 10 years ago when I was in my 20s, and I had a degree in business. I knew what I was doing, I was really great at what I did, but I was lacking the mindset piece. I had so many limiting beliefs, things such as I wasn't good enough, I wasn't deserving of wealth. Big wealth isn't available to women like me. Imposter syndrome. Who am I to be teaching this? I was working with multi-million dollar businesses. Like, who am I to be working with these businesses when I'm not a multimillionaire? And so many other things. And because of those limiting beliefs, I didn't allow myself the success that I truly desired, because in my mind, I kept saying, no, you can't. No, you can't. This isn't available. And every time that happened, I would self sabotage. I would procrastinate. I would do things to affect my income because I wasn't ready and energetically ready or mentally ready for that kind of success. When I started I walked away from this business due to burnout and some other health issues, I somehow discovered the mindset piece, and that was the real game changer for me. Once I uncovered mindset and how important it was and worked to remove all those limiting beliefs, the success actually got to be easy. The strategy stuff that I knew I had to do, I actually started doing it. I actually started implementing the business tools, but I didn't before because of all those mindset chatter, that mindset blocks.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we all are, it's so common in everybody. And we go through different phases, at least what I see and have experienced personally, where you may be good for a while and then something else comes up and makes you feel insecure. And you just got to keep addressing it and working through those stumbling blocks when you hit them.
Exactly. And I always say that when you first start your business, that's when it's the most important. That's when you're building that foundation. That's when all the big stuff comes up, all the big issues, those big blocks. But once you work through them initially, it's still a lifelong thing. Like mindset work, I've talked with people just beginning and I've talked with multimillionaires, and they all say the mindset stuff comes up. It's just the more advanced you get, the more money you make, the more successful you get, the easier it is to work through these things. They pop up, they easily recognize that it's a limiting belief, and they can work through it quickly and easily to move past it. Because we all have what we call like a glass ceiling, an upper limit. And so every time we get to a certain income level, our mind goes, okay, we're comfortable up until this level. But anything above that, we're not comfortable. Our mindset is not programmed for that kind of success. So we'll bump up against these glass ceilings or these upper limits. And that's when the mindset stuff comes up again, and we have to start working through it. And then once we work through it, we keep going again till we get to that next level. So this is always an ongoing lifetime thing. So that's one thing I like people to know, is this isn't just one and done. Mindset isn't something you go get the help, you remove all those basic limiting beliefs that you have at the start. this is like a constant, ongoing, lifelong thing you're going to be dealing with.
Yeah. And as your role changes throughout the success of your business, different things will show up. Like originally, it would start with your capabilities, right? Like, who am I to take care of this client? How can I actually achieve this? To as you grow to that multi-million dollar point in your business, it's more now you're becoming the CEO and now you need to delegate, right? So, how do you see that shifting through that journey?
Yeah, exactly. At the start, it's always about, like you say, your own capabilities. And that imposter syndrome shows up. Who am I to be doing this? Can I do this? Am I capable of doing this? And then the next step I find with women is then hiring the help. And a lot of us women have those feelings of, oh, but I can do it better. Oh, it takes them longer. Oh, if I'm just having to spend this time teaching them what to do, I might as well do it. But the thing is, you can't do it on your own forever. If you plan on scaling a business to six figures, multiple six figures, you get to a point where you can't do it all on your own and you have to start outsourcing. You have to start building a team and you have to be willing to let go of those things. So removing those feelings of, oh, I can do it better. I can do it here, or, oh, I don't want to pay somebody. That's going to take away from my money. But all of those, again, are limiting beliefs because you're not going to be able to build a multi six figure business by trying to do it on your own. Or if you do, you're never going to have any free time. And then also it gets to limiting beliefs around leadership. Most of us haven't been in a leadership role, maybe in our corporate or other careers. So we don't know how to lead other people. We don't know how to give directions. We don't know how to motivate others. We maybe don't even know how to work with other people. So there's all of those things that come up. So at the start, it's all about you and your limiting beliefs and your limits. And later on, it's about you managing others and getting the best from them and having systems in place, which you're probably very good at, putting those systems into place so that all of this can run smoothly and work well together and doesn't have the big hiccups. Not to say that things don't happen, but it's reducing those things from happening.
Yeah. Yeah. And as you put those systems in place, where I like to help is with the automation so that you can make it run smoothly and you can help expand your capabilities and not have to do it all yourself, and you figure out the processes and then put them into place so that they just continue to run behind the scenes. And then you can focus on growing your team, focus on serving your customers, and start focus on success.
Exactly. Yeah. Because your priorities when you're a startup business owner is completely different than your priorities when you're making six figures and multiple six figures. And you have to be willing to make those changes and step into those different roles in order to continue growing.
Totally, totally. Yeah. And to your point of hiring help, it's hard to get over that hurdle of as you're starting to grow your team and you have to take on that payroll and take on that staff and take on all the increased responsibilities with that. But they can really help unlock that next level of success in your business to go from a liability to an asset where they can help you increase your revenue exponentially, but you need to have the right people in place. And how do you help people, or what do you encourage people as they're looking to grow their team in that manner?
Yeah, so my biggest thing is I tell my clients is if it's not your zone of genius, if it's not what lights you up, that you're perfect at, that you love doing, that is that zone of genius, don't be doing it. Yes, at the start, there are some things you're going to have to do. You're going to have to figure out like social media and the marketing and the automations and the funnel building. Some of that you may have to try and figure out from like at the start, but as you grow, those are the things you want to take off the plate. You want to focus on that zone of genius, that working with your clients, the consulting work, whatever it is you're doing. You want to focus on that time, and all the other stuff you need to start outsourcing. And I always say, start with the stuff you hate the most. So if you hate the technical stuff, that should be your first hire, is someone to do all that technical stuff. If you hate social media, hire a social media person. The VAs are great because a lot of them are really good at a few different things. So if you're looking for someone who's a generalized at a lot of different things that can take a lot of that stuff off your plate, they're a great go-to resource. But start writing down a list of the things that you really don't want to be doing. And a lot of these things you can outsource for a very reasonable amount of time. And remember, just because it takes you an hour to build a funnel or days to build a funnel doesn't mean it's going to take an expert, because they're an expert at it. They can do it in a short period of time. So by paying them, not only are you saving a ton of time, but that time could be spent doing things that make you income. So
Right.
if it takes you days to create a funnel and you get someone to come in and do it for you, imagine what you could do in those 2 days by saving that time. So say it even cost you a couple $100 to get someone to do it. How much income could you be making by spending those 2 days out looking for clients, selling programs, selling products? You're going to come out better in the long run. So yes, it costs money to get help, but in the long run, it actually results in more income.
100%. Yeah. And I think it's so important to surround yourself and your team that help with your weaknesses. Like focus, like you said, of the things that you hate, the things that you're not good at, and bring in people to help you with those areas so you can shine in the areas that you're really good at.
Exactly. It's good to understand the basics of these things, understand the basics of funnels, to understand the basics of social media, how it works, so that you can guide these people, but they're ultimately the experts and you should be able to go to them and say, this is what I want to achieve. What are your ideas? And you just having a basic understanding. So when they come back to you and say, I wanted this and this, you go, okay, I understand that. Great. Let's run with it. Let's try it.
Yeah. And for the person who's listening that just feels like they can't get out of their own way, what would you recommend to them to get that breakthrough that they need, other than give you a call?
The biggest thing is just start, just try. So I always say, if you're feeling that resistance, that's usually a sign of a limiting belief, which is needs more work. I suggest if you're getting that resistance, getting that procrastination, of course, hire help. But the biggest thing you can do is to say, just start. If you've been trying to build a funnel, say, okay, I'm giving myself 10 minutes. I'm going to work on this for 10 minutes. That's it. And 5, 10 minutes isn't overwhelming. So when you tell your brain, I'm just going to do this for 5 minutes, I'm just going to do this for 10 minutes, your brain goes, okay, I can take that. I can understand that. That's not going to overwhelm me. We can work on this. And then I find once you start working on something, you're not going to want to quit. So you get into it, you start doing it. And as long as you're not completely overwhelmed and frustrated, you're going to find that you're probably going to get it done quite quickly. And also work with your energy levels. I'm huge on this. Don't try to do it's a big important work. Don't be trying to create social media content. Don't be trying to do sales calls. Don't be trying to do those things on a low energy, crappy day, because we all have our ups and downs. We have some days where we're feeling energized and great and ready to go. Those are the days you're going to capitalize on. Those are the days you're going to do the big stuff, the important stuff. And then other days you're going to wake up and go, I don't want to do anything. And you don't want to be forcing yourself on those days to be doing things, because you're going to be half-assing it. It's going to not be as productive. It's going to show up in your work. So on those days, do things that require low energy. Or the way I do it now is on those days, I don't do anything. Yes, if I have clients, I will show up, I will do my best for them. But back end business stuff, I don't do anything on those days. I'll read books, I'll relax, I'll take naps, I go out and spend the day in nature, I go for a hike, I do whatever feels good to me, so that the next day I hopefully have brought my energy back up. I'm back in the office, I'm being my productive self. So always work with your energy levels, and you're going to find you're going to spend way less time on the work you need to do, because you're working at your optimal levels. And then you have that other time when you're not low, like not high energy, to go out and enjoy life.
Totally. Yeah. It's so important to recharge our batteries and to listen to our bodies. And I always find if I'm feeling run down and I don't listen to my body saying, take a break, I get sick. It's so important to take that space and to recharge your brain, recharge your batteries. And another suggestion to add on to that would be batching. Like personally, I love to do batching work where when I'm feeling that zone of inspiration of copy or social media or editing videos or whatever, I try to do a big chunk of them, get them scheduled, get everything running. I love having my automation behind the scenes so that I can schedule things to go out, but I do them when I'm feeling that inspiration. And then the quality of my work is that much better because I'm feeling in the groove.
Exactly. I'm the same way, especially with videos, because videos, people feel your energy on a video. So they know if you're recording in low energy. So, like you, I'll pre record a bunch of things. I'll come up with a bunch of short form video ideas. I'll pre record them, and then I'll save the editing to maybe those low energy days. So, if I'm feeling low energy, I'll literally lay in bed and just edit my short form videos and get them ready to then schedule out in the future. I'm not big on scheduling far in advance. I'm a very creative person. I like to somewhat be in the moment, but I do like to always have a couple pieces of content ready in the waiting for those low energy days. And yeah, and it just makes a big difference because trying to do a video, I've done a couple where I've forced myself and the engagement and everything is horrible. I'm
It's just
like, okay,
painful.
note to myself, this has taken me 3 times as long and I don't get near the engagement and people just don't like it as much. So we're just not doing this anymore.
Yeah, it's amazing how much that comes through. Like you said, with your energy, you're not feeling it and you're forcing yourself. People read that on the other side and it comes through loud and clear. It's like, why am I forcing myself to do this? It's not going to get the results I'm looking for.
Exactly. In stories, things like that, it's different because stories is more about the real life. So if you're low energy to jump on a story and share, hey,
Yeah.
I'm having a crappy day, different thing. But in your feed posts, in your videos, in those things where people are looking for more curated content, that's a different thing. So still show up on social media, still, jump in your stories and share because people want to see the real you. They don't want to see the perfect you all the time. They want to know about those ups and downs, but it doesn't mean you need to create and put that forward facing stuff out there when you're in those down moments. So it's sharing the background in the stories, but then you're best facing forward in the rest of your social media content.
Yeah, absolutely. So, on a slightly more personal level, but what would you say drives you on a daily basis to constantly improve and to show up for your business every day?
To me, it's about happiness and doing what I love. So I spent the first 30 years of my life doing what everyone else wanted for me. I was the typical people pleaser, overachiever, type A personality who literally just was looking for some sort of approval from anybody. That was my biggest limiting belief is I had no self-worth. I did not believe in myself. I thought all my value came from what others thought of me. So I was constantly seeking out approval from others. And so I ended up just before my 30th birthday having I call it my early midlife crisis, my breakdown. And that's when I walked away from my first business because I literally burnt out physically, mentally, emotionally. It caused a health crisis to the point where my body was shutting down on me because
Wow.
I'd pushing myself too hard. And I was living at the time what people would call that picture perfect life. And everyone was always saying that, oh, your life is so wonderful. You've got a business, you've got a husband, you've got great friends. Like your life is so wonderful. And deep inside, I was absolutely miserable. And then I felt so guilty because I'm going, if I have it so perfect, why am I so miserable? And when I hit burnout, I actually had this moment in the hospital. I'd gone in for some x-rays for some body pain. And during my x-ray, all of a sudden I started getting a dizzy spell. And these were a regular occurrence in my life at this point. And of course, being the people pleaser, I didn't want to stop and be like, oh, sorry, can you guys hold on a moment? I just need to sit down for a second. I'm like, no, I'm just going to close my eyes for 2 seconds. It'll go away. I closed my eyes and passed out and actually hit my head on the floor and gave myself a concussion. And the whole time I'm like apologizing to the nurses. All these nurses are running around and trying to help me. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And it was like that wake up call going, how bad does it have to get that I'm putting myself, my health in danger, my life in danger to make everyone else happy? And it was at that point I decided I needed to start prioritizing myself. And not to say that the next day I started doing that, but I started working on it. And within a year, I literally walked away from everything in my previous life, my marriage, my business, friends, everything, so that I could start from scratch and truly create a life that I loved and I wanted to wake up to every morning. And now that's the life I have. And that's the life I want to go forward with is I get to have a business that I absolutely love, helping people and working with people that I absolutely love. And I have time and financial freedom both, which ultimately allows me the comfort and ability to live that dream life. And going forward, that's my motivation to keep going at it and also to change the world, to allow other women like myself who went through those identity crises, who want more for themselves and don't know how to do it, giving them the ability to make that happen for themselves and live out that time and financial freedom in their own lives.
That's an amazing story. And I know so many people can relate to that, that we go through those periods in our lives of self-reflection of, oh my God, how did I get here? Is this where I really want to be? And it may not be quite as drastic as what you went through of just walking away from it all. And maybe it is. We all have those times in our lives where we have to and think about, where do I want to be in 20 years? And is this taking me in that direction? Or do I need to really do a shift and pivot and do something different with our lives? But it's so important to have that self-fulfillment and truly be happy with what you're doing, because you only have one life. You've got one shot at this, and you can always change and pick a different journey, but like you've got to make it count, right?
Exactly. Don't be afraid of the change. Don't be afraid of disappointing everybody else, and start asking yourself, what is it that I want? Because as women, we tend to put others' needs ahead of our own, and that doesn't lead to our own happiness. So sometimes we have to upset others in order to find that happiness. And I always say the right people are going to want to see you happy. They're going to want to be there to help you make that happen. And the wrong people won't. And those are the people that it's okay to let go of so that you can go be your best version of yourself.
Totally. And I think as we're going through those periods of hardship, it's important to remember that as difficult as it is, it's not the end of the world, and we can work through anything. We can move past anything. I know that some of the hardest times in my life, going through a divorce and similar situations, have made me who I am today and made me that much stronger. Where had I not gone through that, it's not ideal, it's not fun, it's awful. It's made me who I am today. And I'm very thankful for where I am today because of it.
Exactly. I wouldn't be who I am today if I hadn't gone through all that and had that knowledge to then share with others, just like you probably have the same thing.
Absolutely. So, how do you, going forward in your life, how do you maintain that daily balance? What is important in your daily routine to keep that fresh and focused for you?
So the big thing is just continuing to follow my dreams and prioritize myself, my happiness, and my health. So this business really allows that. One of my big things, I hate alarm clocks, and I literally will not wake up to an alarm clock. My body is pretty good that I generally wake up at the same time every day, but it's waking up in a calm, relaxed state. My mornings are really slow, easy. We live on an acreage and we've got a bunch of animals. So once I get up, I go take care of all of them. It gets me outside, get some fresh air, and then I come in and make myself a coffee or tea and I relax and enjoy that. And then I come into the office and kind of get started with my day. So my day isn't like it used to be in corporate where it's frantically hurry up, get ready, rush off to work, drive through crazy traffic, and then get there and it's frantic. It's my day is chill and easy, relaxed, and I'm all about making that happen. And then it's about that freedom. So come summertime, I generally don't even work Mondays or Fridays. Me and my boyfriend, we like to go camping. We like to get outside. We like to go do fun things. So it's that ability to take time off when I need to have the money that if we want to travel, if we want to have go buy something, if we want to do something, we've got that time and the money to do that. And so it's all about just making sure that we continue with that cycle of ease and flow and joy. And as long as I'm in that, then I'm happy. And then my business is continuing to grow, and I'll continue having my business. If it starts feeling tough and ugh and gross and not fun anymore, you know what, it's time to change, or eventually it's maybe time to give up. But I honestly love what I do so much. I don't think I will ever retire or ever give this up. I'll always have some sort of business doing this, I think, for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I think it gets in your blood. Like you're meant to be an entrepreneur, and it's hard to walk away from it.
It is. I've known since I was a young child I was meant to be an entrepreneur. It's really funny. Like at 10 years old, I had my first business. I only made $100 a month, but I still had my first business, and that wasn't my first. I had little
That's awesome.
businesses throughout my childhood, and then yeah, my first business I started in my mid 20s because I just knew. I always say I'm a horrible employee. I was not meant for corporate. I was not a good
Yeah.
employee. I wasn't lazy, but I was the type of person that let me come in, do all my work in like this short period of time, and then I'd have to sit there and twiddle my thumbs for the rest of the day. And it's like, why can't I just go home? Like, you want someone productive? Can I just work my own hours as long as I'm getting my work done? Or I hated dealing with really stupid people, which is really bad because in corporate, you have a lot of not so smart people that you have to work with. And I would get really frustrated with those people and be like, really? And sometimes I said things I maybe shouldn't have said. So at least with my own business, the only stupid person I have to work with is myself, I like to say. So if I do something dumb, I'm the only one responsible for. Yeah, it's nice that I don't have to be in a situation I don't want to be in anymore. And I get to live out that dream of being an entrepreneur and always having that available.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Looking ahead to the year ahead or the year that we're in, what exciting things do you have? And yeah, what's the year ahead look like for you?
Oh, yeah, I've got so many great ideas. I'm an ideas person, like always something going on in my head. So I've got a lot of really great self-study courses I'm working on right now in the background that I want to get out there for people. Those easy entry level, quick kind of win type courses. Plus, I launched my signature group program last year as a beta, and this year I'm just in the middle of revamping some of the trainings, and I'm going to be relaunching that again this year to the public. And I'm super excited about that. The course is like been my baby and my love for the last year and a half, and I'm so excited to make it available to other women out there who are looking to build that six-figure business and want the help to figure out how to do it and figure out how to do it the easy way rather than to struggle and try and do it all on their own.
That's awesome. And you mentioned leadership and being a leader earlier. What would you say defines a good leader or helps somebody become a good leader?
The biggest thing I think is empathy and listening skills. You know, a lot of us are so quick to respond and to jump into things, and I was one of these people. You really need to listen and observe and watch and then answer in a really empathetic, caring way. So I always say you should listen more than you speak. And when you do that with your employees and the people you're managing, you're going to find that they're really responding to that. They like knowing that they're feeling heard. And then when you're empathetic, they not only are feeling heard, but they're feeling like they're needed and wanted and cared for. And they're more likely to give you more effort, to do more for you, and enjoy working with you. So, empathy and caring, I think, are the two big things. And knowing that people screw up. Nobody is perfect. We all screw up and things happen. So, give everyone a break, give them that opportunity to prove themselves. But also, if people keep proving that they're incapable, be okay with letting them go. Someone always told me be quick to hire and quick to fire. Don't know if I quite believe that. I like giving people the opportunity. But at the same time, if someone isn't going to work out, that's okay. They're not the right fit for you, but they possibly are for somebody else. So go find that right person that is the perfect fit for you. And honestly, when you find that perfect person to work in your business, it's like you don't even have to manage them. It's like they read your mind, they understand things, and they get to a point after working together for a while where they know what you need before you even know what you need. And the cohesion between you is amazing. And it makes your life and your business so much easier when you can find those amazing people.
Totally. Yeah. And I think to the things you mentioned, it helps people feel valued in your business and that you do care about them. And then they want to work that much harder for you. So I completely agree. It should be a good fit. The people that you have in your business, if you have to micromanage them, it's not a good fit. Or you need to look internally at what you're doing wrong because you shouldn't have to micromanage people. People should want to work for you and you should be able to clearly communicate your expectations and what you need for success so that you guys can work together.
Exactly. No, completely agree. I hated being micromanaged when I worked in the corporate world. I would never do that to somebody else. I don't believe in it. It's either you can do your job and you're competent enough or you're not. So go find someone who is. There's so many people out there who can do the job for you who don't need that micromanagement to make it happen.
Totally. So, throughout your business and working with other people in their businesses, how would you define success?
I think success is different for everybody, but for me, it's about time and financial freedom. It's being able to make six figures and beyond, to have an abundance of money to be able to do what I want, when I want, to travel, to go somewhere, to buy things. If I just want up and buy something, to have that money in my account, but then to be working less than 20 hours a week. That was my ultimate goal, was to have the ability to take all this time off, to be able to actually enjoy life, to be able to go out for a day long hike, to be able to work from a beach in the Caribbean if I wanted to go take off for a week or two, or eventually to be location independent. Right now, with kids, that's a little bit harder, but the kids are teenagers, and in the next 4 or 5 years, they're going to be gone, they're going to be independent, and I can go do whatever I want to do. And maybe I will spend a week here, spend a week there. And to me, having that freedom, the time and financial both, is ultimately the goal so that I can do those things whenever I want. I honestly live a pretty simple life. I'm not one who wants the big mansions or the fancy cars or those kind of things, but I want to be able to travel more. I want to be able to buy what I want when I want and just enjoy that lifestyle and yeah, live how I want to live.
I love it. Yeah, I agree 100%. That's very similar to my definition as well. I love being fully remote. I love traveling. I love seeing the country, seeing the world. So that's hugely valuable to me in the course of my business and having that balance with family. Very cool. And if you had the attention of the whole world for 5 minutes, what would you tell them?
Oh, especially to the women, you are worthy and deserving of success. And we need to tell ourselves that every single day. Over 95% of women in the world don't feel they're enough to achieve their goals, to get what they want. There's people saying, oh, you're not smart enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not young enough, you're not old enough. Forget about all that crap and know deep in your soul and believe 100% that whatever you want for your life, whatever goals you have, whatever, dreams you have, you are 100% worthy and deserving and enough to achieve those. And tell yourself that every day till you finally believe it.
It's awesome. It's so important to follow your own journey and your own fulfillment and not worry about what everybody else thinks about you or their standard of success for you. So that's awesome.
Exactly. Yeah.
And where can listeners support you in your work? Where can they find you online?
Yeah, so you can find me at the sixfigurefemaleentrepreneur.com or on all social medias at the Six Figure Female Entrepreneur. If you want to find all my links in one spot, you can go to the sixfigurefemaleentrepreneur.com/links, and all my links, all my freebies, all my information is all in there.
Awesome. And we'll have the links below so everybody can click on them and check you out and check out your business. And yeah, thank you so much, Jen. I appreciate you being here today.
Thanks so much for having me. I really enjoyed our conversation, and yeah, this was great.
Awesome. Awesome. Me too. And you can find me at sevenfigurebuilder.com. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.